Okay, so take two. Um, all right, take two. Gonna try it. I've been dealing with brain fatigue. Just like it's not as bad as it was, but I've been tired all weekend. I thought about doing gaming, but I haven't done a philosophy jam in a long time. I had one I need to finish, uh, and that's just gonna be on the back burner. We're gonna do this. Um, I usually was drinking when I did these, but I've quit drinking, so I only use caffeine and legal weed. So, oh yeah, we got some Jolly Ranchers. Maybe that shit will help me here. Um, and we were gonna do this. This first, this will be the first PJ with AI, I believe. Um, and I wanted to do it. Well, apparently I didn't even write down. I think I was gonna. I was thinking of different stuff. We'll just do virtues. We'll kind of dig into that. I'll use Grok till my free tokens run out, and then I'll go over to this Venice Uncensored Llama AI. So I'm gonna pop a blue raspberry Jolly Rancher. I thought about just sticking with one virtue. Um, hmm. We'll just do all of them. So this will be interesting because I don't think I've ever done one of these using AI. And so, for anyone not familiar, um, a philosophy jam is basically a game jam but with philosophy. So a game jam is like a small amount of time you spend on game development, like in a window, with a little, with some experimentation with that. And this is the same thing with a topic, with kind of trying to think about it in some sort of um, manner of more intellectual or liminal depth, and or liminal depth. So hopefully it's not annoying hearing me talk with a Jolly Rancher in my mouth. How's my levels here? So give a list of different popular takes on virtues and traditional moral values. Go ahead, think. And hell, why not? We'll okay. Now, what's it saying? What's it saying here? It's using the term perspectives. So we're going to try to help it out by sticking with that term. Combine all the virtues slash values from these different perspectives into a single list. Grok is really taking its time with this one. It's definitely taking its time with this one. Okay. Okay, so we need to reduce this list. Oh man. Definitely take that out. Someone needs to read The Quest for Cosmic Justice by Thomas Sowell. So, I never even finished that book, but it's a great book as far as great reasoning goes. So, there, something I've noticed with logical fallacies is some of them are kind of sub fallacies. They're of more broader fallacies. So we could say reduce this list to values that are not. Ooh, this is brilliant. If it works, if it works, we'll see. Sub-values of other values. So will the AI understand that? That's the question I need to ask. Okay. That could not be categorized. Could not be easily categorized. Let's put it that way. Let's kind of give it some room to breathe rather than using absolutist reasoning. And let's hit enter on that. Holy shit. I'm gonna crash Grok. It also doesn't know. It also really struggles with bringing back Sierra Mist without any money involved, because I asked it that. So what are we at here? 4 minutes. 20 seconds. Okay. So it was at 64 and we dropped it to 41. Dropped it to 41. We're going to take all these. We're going to put them right here. We are going to look, okay, authenticity and benevolence. I'm kind of looking for anything that maybe it missed. Okay. I thought maybe reduce this list from anything that could be counted as wisdom, but I wanna get this out of here because I don't even understand what that is personally. Okay, so my issue right now is I need definitions. So give the most popular definitions of all 41 of these virtues. Okay. This is intense. There's some intense shit going on over here. Where are we at? 10 minutes. I'm debating how long I want to do this. Okay. Here are the most popular definitions of the 41 virtues listed. I'm going to see, I'm going to look through these and I'm going to do flaw manning, basically seeing what I find not reasonable, what I have a problem with. So I'm just going to silently read through. We're going to go ahead and I need to be able to edit these. So right here I see care and charity. And something doesn't feel right about this. This seems like a sub-value of care. You can be charitable without caring about someone, and you can care about someone without being charitable. So I guess I'm gonna leave it. I kind of, part of me would rather have this be called empathy. Well, care doesn't. I don't know. I'm gonna count this as a sub value. I think because you care about something in order to engage in charity, and charity is care in the sense of involving support if it actually does. So I don't know. I'm gonna count that as a sub value. We're gonna get rid of that. That's a sub value of care that AI didn't see. That's what it said. Feeling and showing sympathy and concern for others, often involving a desire to help, compassion. Um, Bravery seems like bravery and courage are too close. So this is the ability to confront. This is facing. So first you need the ability before you face. So this is a sub value of courage. So digital literacy should be. Is there anything like technological literacy? Because that should be technological literacy. That shouldn't be digital literacy. Because that's a broader value that's digital literacy is pointing up to. The ability to use technology. Maximum, I'll just say for maximum wisdom and usefulness. Okay. Wow. What the hell's going on here? Jeez. That's a thinking mode. It's going hardcore. So it's not slow, it's doing insane processing. So where are we at? Duty. A moral or legal obligation, a responsibility. Ecological responsibility falls under duty. Um, Empathy. Is not the same as care. Let's see, we have the desire to help others and promote their well-being. Um, and we have showing concern and consideration. So you have the desire, but then you have the actual action. Okay, and then down here, you have the ability, you have empathy. Okay. So I'm not sure if, I don't want to delete any of those right now. This should be equality of opportunity. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna broaden it, you know, for what I don't know, and we're gonna stay. Man, this is tough. Something just doesn't feel right with this already. It feels wonky. The pursuit of the wisest, well, that's wisdom. The pursuit of the wisest balance between equality and inequality is wisdom. So you know what? Maybe we'll. I don't know. I don't know about that one. We're gonna get rid of that one because it's problematic. Pun intended. Faith. Gonna keep that. Family values. Gonna keep that for now. Generosity. Quality of being kind and generous. The habit of giving freely. We already have that's not much different. Benevolence is the parent value of that right here, the desire to help others and promote their well-being. That's my argument. Gratitude, the quality of being thankful. Readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. Hard work. Honor. High respect. I'm gonna simplify it. People don't use the word esteem in that way. I don't know as much. We're just gonna call it high respect. Okay, so hope and faith. I want to look at these. Gonna put those in a list. Excuse me. So we got hope and faith. Faith is a strong belief. Hope is expectation. And expectation is aim in the sense of the mind's eye. So it's powerful for steering action and manifestation, but it's not the same as belief. So we're going to leave those two. Where are we at here? Humility, individual freedom, integrity, morality is somewhat objective to me, without trying to go down that rabbit hole of why I think that way. And which, I mean, obviously I'm doing this on traditional moral values and popular moral values, so to try to uncover more of that objectivity, at least as it exists in relation to the human genome, maybe we could say, or in relation to creation and any kind of objective moral causality within that, to whatever tiny degree I can dig into that here. So I think honor, high respect, if we assume that morality is objective, this is a sub-value of integrity, which is about potentially about objective adherence to objective morality. So the question is, do we even need this? Do we even need honor? And the best possible list, in the pursuit of trying to create like the best possible list that I can, using AI's help, of moral values. I'm just going to go with my gut and say no, but I'm not happy with this saying having strong moral principles as opposed to wise. But these are kind of like aspects of wisdom. They're not perfect, and they're supposed to balance each other. We want a list of things that balance each other with as minimal redundancy as possible, and as much ability to handle different potential existential moral situations as possible. And so we'll leave that how it is. Justice, just behavior, treatment, fairness. I'm going to leave that how it is for now. Kindness. That's a sub-value of benevolence to me. I mean, loyalty. What is a strong moral principle? Are we talking about like, to what degree are we talking about objective morality versus the lack of it? That's so Yeah, we'll leave loyalty because loyalty, it kind of reminds me of bhakti or devotional yoga. I don't know, but you can have like care, you can have empathy, and you can have that combined with benevolence or duty. I don't know. So it's like, is there values that we already have that can combine together that make loyalty redundant? Because these values are more primordial in human physiology, and maybe we could say more so the brain. Um, because care is very primordial based on Harry Frankfurt's book, The Reasons of Love. Anything you're doing is starting from a sense of care, like that your consciousness has to care about something for you to be aware of it, or for you to act in any way. So care is incredibly primordial. But then, yeah, I mean, I could probably delete. I could go on a deleting spree if I went down that road too. So, I guess I'm just gonna leave loyalty there. Um, magnan magnanimity, generosity, and forgiving. That's humility. That's a sub value of humility to me. Nonviolence. I don't know. That's kind of a sub value of humility too. It's like humility in physical action. Um, is this like? I mean, this is a sub value of integrity and loyalty, patriotism, um, personal responsibility. I mean, that's wisdom. That's a sub value of wisdom. That's kind of a sub value of like justice, integrity, wisdom, privacy awareness. So yeah, purity. We're gonna leave that. We're gonna say respect for nature is a sub value of that. Self control is wisdom. I don't know. I'm gonna get rid of that. Social justice. I mean, this is it's confused about the differentiation between the best possible capitalist systems and crony capitalism, as far as how I see it from my view. And so it's not a major moral value that human beings should be concerned about. I mean, they should be concerned about getting rid of crony capitalism, but for what this list we're trying to make, we're trying to, break things down. I might end this at 11. Okay. So, oh, great. It gave me, eliminate any virtue or value. How many are there here? It doesn't tell me. In this list, that could be a sub. That could be a child value slash sub value of another value in the list. Okay. Got that going. We've got sustainability, the ability to be maintained at a certain rate or level without depleting natural resources. That goes along with, I can't even remember the name of the book, but basically you have a body budget and it affects your ability to, well, do different things and emotionally regulate. You know, like if you don't get enough sleep, you can be very moody. If you're really sore from working out, your brain might not work as well. And if you push your brain really hard, I don't know, maybe it affects your ability to focus while you're working. If you're doing a intense workout or something where you have to maintain you have like heavy weight or something, you have to maintain form so you don't get hurt. So sustainability is a globalist buzzword, and I don't like that at all. And I know it. I feel like the AI probably pulled it from sites or groups connected to those assholes. But let's see here. It's still the way it's being defined is I don't want to get rid of it yet. Tolerance. That's the sub value of humility to me. If you guys got a pause, I know I'm not reading everything out, and that's because I'm a little tired, but if you got a pause to read anything or go back and pause, sorry about that. Truthfulness, the quality of being truthful. Well, that's one of the, if we say the transcendental values, that's one of them: truth, beauty, and goodness. So I define wisdom as, at its most maximum, is combining truth, beauty, goodness, and love. The ability to think and act using knowledge, experience, understanding, common sense, and insight. We're just going to leave that the way it is, but I'd like to kind of dig into the differences between all these. If I can remember to do it at a later time, using AI to help me out there. Work ethic. So, a belief in the moral benefit and importance of work and its inherent ability to strengthen character. So, we got hard work right there. And since that's the action rather than the mental place that it starts in, that is the child value of work ethic, and we're going to delete it. And zeal, great energy or enthusiasm, something I desire greatly right now. But unfortunately, I can only have so much caffeine. I have to cut myself off. That's wisdom. So this is our new list. And here's Grok's list. And we're not going into... Okay, I'm going to scroll through this slow. If you guys want to look at this, you can pause. I'm not going to look at it. All right. So now we have Grok's list. Grok gives us adaptability, authenticity, okay, what are the different values what are the values in this below that aren't in the list above? So AI could like totally screw me here and not do this right, but we're just gonna hope that it does. That's how we're gonna play this. Okay, technological literacy. I thought I took that out. Unless they're talking about that being. Oh, yeah. I changed it to technological literacy. Okay. So, what we got. Benevolence, care, empathy, technological literacy, duty, family values, purity, truthfulness, work ethic, zeal. So now I face a new problem where what I could do is what I should do is look at the copycat things. And see which definition is better between Grok 3 and Venice. And that will take hours. And I could use AI for just to kind of put them together, but that's something I'd rather do with my own brain, try to see which definition is better. And that could, oh man, that's a lot of flaw manning. That's a lot of kind of, picking at it. So I just need the intro to this so I remember why it's giving me this. Okay, so after comparing the following values from the second list, Venice AI are not present in the first list. Grok 3 AI. So what do we got here? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I gotta delete ARMA 3. Okay. So we have to... We're gonna name this Philosophy Jam on Virtues. Because I've never done... my Substack set up, the name of it's has virtues in the name, and I never got around to... I did like a really fast philosophy jam on it, and I had like... It was without AI, and it was just... I ended up getting all this stuff from Wikipedia, and it was like, wow, what do I do with all this? This would take hours upon hours to get anywhere with all this. And so I thought, maybe I'll try a different approach. I'll try using AI, and I'll see where I can kind of go with it. And so now I'm thinking one possible thing I could do, take repeats and look for what has the better definition, and combine the values together of the two lists. Then think about, ask questions about, and do more flaw manning around what is a child or parent value. So possibly notes arguing for or against this with different values. So get rid of child values. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to distill the best possible list that I can of virtues. And is that possible or not? Because, so let's ask that question. Is it possible to have a smallest, wisest possible list of virtues / life values? And what would that look like based on the most evidence, reason, and historical and religious and spiritual understanding? Because counter argument, you always have the potential for situations where you thrive most with a child value that might not be in the slimmest possible list, and subsequent focus on the best possible life values with one or more. Okay, so this is big because it's kind of pointing to the complexity and dynamicness of existence. But what we're doing isn't pointless here. It's just, and it's kind of a bigger, it's a spectral, it has its limitations because of this, but it also is not worth not doing. So, it could have some serious usefulness. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in. to both of these AIs before I wrap it up here. And we'll use Think for Grok. And Venice, we'll just pop it in. So this is what we get with the original goal. Gonna put a tilde here. Tells me to focus. It's kind of I just use it as a like a focus here symbol. So Venice gives us, when we're trying to do this, wisdom, compassion, integrity, courage, justice, temperance. So it doesn't give us care, it gives us compassion, and that's really interesting because, like I was talking earlier, care is more fundamental to consciousness than compassion. Compassion is, as it's defined here, something in relation to another living thing, not a non-living thing. And so if we are assuming that this is more important as a life value than care, we're making an assumption that aligns with some of the conclusions of the Harvard Grant study. If you go look up the TED talk on that, the most popular one, I believe, about like for just good life outcomes, some different good life outcomes with positive social interactions and relationships, something like that. With the Harvard Grant study conclusions, there's something really interesting here, which is our relationship to non-living things in the context of this list is that, and you know how we grow with them, like how good we get at a musical instrument, for example, or a sport, it's inherently, fundamentally connected to some form of compassion. But if we're using this list as the most foundational, best possible life values, so you can't take any of your passions outside. I mean, there's the relational domain, the domain of relationships, is connected to between objects or the appearance of objects, but you can't take any of your relationships to non-living things outside of, maybe we could say, subconscious one or more relationships to living things. Like it's connected somehow foundationally. So that's really interesting to me because I'm interested in motivation, and it's like, how do you get motivated to be better at something that involves a relationship with one or more non-living things? How to become, better at a video game, better at an instrument, better at a sport, better at whatever. There's a relational aspect to living things, foundational in that, based on what we're getting with this list from Venice. Okay. So now we have Grok 3. And Grok 3 gives us love. And it references the Harvard Grant study. So Grok 3 is a think mode. Is on the same wavelength as me. And that. So deep care, which we talked about how care is foundational to to survival, to life, to consciousness. You can't, no matter how evil you are, you can't even fucking change it. It's just there. Or no matter how apathetic you are, you can't totally get rid of it. So I've got to bold these out because I'm having... So what we were gonna say... What's using the best evidence, reason, and science currently available? What is more foundational to human consciousness? Care or compassion? And I think it's care, but okay. So Grok's, I'm done with Grok. I ran on my free tokens. And I'm not paying anything to that site because they don't support free speech to the degree that I want. So ooh, look at that. Care appears to be more foundational in the sense that it is a basic instinctual behavior essential for survival and reproduction. Compassion, while also important, builds upon the foundation of care and involves more complex cognitive and emotional processes. Yeah, so I'm sticking with... Okay, wait a minute. This was Grok 3? And Grok... Because, yes, so they kept compassion in too. But they also had love. And Harry Frankfurt defines love as, if I remember right, care for something where the means is the end. AKA deep care. Maybe we could say that. Okay. So we've changed up. We stopped with this because it was too much the way I was doing it before. And now we've got... we had how I could mess around with that, but we decided to ask this question here. Is it possible to have a smallest, wisest possible list of virtues / life values, and what would that look like based on the most evidence, reason, and historical, religious, and spiritual understanding? We asked 2 different AIs this question, and we've got wisdom, compassion, integrity, courage, justice, temperance. We've got compassion, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, love, gratitude. Love and gratitude are not here. Okay, we know wisdom is here, is shared. We know compassion's shared. Justice is shared. Temperance is shared. We did have justice in here, right? So we have love and gratitude not shared. We have courage. Courage is shared. We have integrity. Grok did not put down integrity. And Venice did not put down... It seems that Venice did not put down love and gratitude. Um, so this is more manageable for me. So what I'm gonna do is get a drink of water. I'm very tempted to go get some cookie dough out of the freezer. It's not the kind that screws you up. I think I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. And then we're going to take these lists and we're going to flaw man. We're going to combine all the definitions together. So we'll take like wisdom and we'll put it next to this wisdom. And we'll open paint for some reason. Let's see here. Take compassion. Oh, that's crack 3. I want Venice's compassion. We want to bold it out. So nothing for integrity, so just gonna put Venice's right there. Gonna take courage. I gotta make this fast because I really want that fucking cookie dough. Let's see there. Justice. Gonna bold out justice and temperance. Gonna take justice. And put that right there. Gonna take finally temperance. Yeah, temperance was repeated. Why is there a giant freaking... Okay. So now we don't need that. We don't need evidence and why it matters. I'm not going there right now. All right. You can see I was using Grok 3 to look up some crazy shit on Kundalini, but all right, now we're gonna go ahead, be right back. All right. Hopefully that wasn't too long. So we're going to start here with integrity. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. Integrity ensures that one's actions are consistent with their values and beliefs. Compassion. So we have the shorter one. Empathy for others' suffering and a desire to help. So, ability to understand and share the suffering of others. This is Venice. Coupled with the desire to help and alleviate that suffering. Okay, we don't need to know about this. So if you understand so you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to wrap it up and I'm going to do this. Possible definitions. You know what? Never mind. I think let's see here. The ability to understand. So I understand someone's suffering. Like, is that feeling or is that conceptual? Okay, so that's both. Well, no. So this is kind of more confusing right now because they're not saying the word share makes it seem like that's feeling. The word understand would then be pointing to, because of that, the conceptual understanding of the suffering of others. And okay, so then we have empathy for other suffering. So what is empathy? Is empathy, does it include or not include, like, does it include the non-linguistic physiological with or without the conceptual? So Grok's confusing me here. So we're gonna do maybe a better one than either of them. And non-linguistic, the ability to conceptually understand and non-linguistically. Okay. Is it? We're gonna say that. Maybe we should do it this way. I think I'm misspelling that word. And I don't have a spell check. How do I do that? So we're going to go with that definition there, as you can see, for now. So now we have wisdom. We have the ability to think and act using knowledge, experience, understanding, common sense, and insight. Okay, so I'm not going to get into this one tonight. I think. How many do I gotta go? How many do I gotta go? There's not much to do. To do. What is the difference between knowledge, experience, understanding, common sense, and insight? So knowledge refers to information, facts, or skills acquired through experience or education. Experience refers to process or fact of personally observing, encountering, or undergoing something. Understanding is the ability to comprehend or grasp the meaning of something. Common sense is sound, practical judgment. Yeah, insight is probably mostly non-linguistic. So Grok doesn't say common sense and insight. And I kind of prefer the more complex definition. Yeah, I'm gonna say mostly non-linguistic because my insight tells me that's right. Um, there's so many processes going on in the brain in comparison to just the linguistic. If we can even define the boundaries of that, which we can't. I don't. I'm guessing we can't. Um, okay, so we have 2 for courage. The ability to confront fear, pain, danger, uncertainty, or intimidation. So we're going to go with the more complex one without getting into the differences between these. You can always go look that up in AI if you want. See what you get. Fairness and equity in actions and decisions. Equity to me just seems like a freaking. It can so easily be used for equality of outcome, which is not the same as equality of opportunity, and it's tyrannical. And it seems redundant when we're already saying fairness. So, fairness in actions and decisions. Justice ensures that all individuals are treated with respect and dignity, and that resources and opportunities are distributed fairly. So, I don't have a problem with that. Temperance. Now, resources, we could go real deep into that, like what's fair resource distribution, and you're going to have to talk about the assholes that were running the world if you really want to go there, and crony capitalism, and we're not going to go there, so because I want to get this done. So Temperance. We have moderation and self-control in actions and desires. Temperance helps in maintaining balance and avoiding excess, which can lead to harm. It's just a little extra. Pretty much the same definition, but Venice is actually giving me, it's going for, less accessibility and a little more depth, and I like that. So we have love and gratitude, which I like that Grok 3 gave me those. Or no, those came from Venice. Grok 3 gave me a different one. So between Venice and Grok 3, we had asked the question here: is it possible to have a smallest, wisest possible list of virtue/life values, and what would that look like based on the most evidence, reason, and historical, religious, and spiritual understanding? And the counter argument that's important is you always have the potential for situations where you and others strive most with focus on one or more child values, say child life values, or we'll say child values of these wisest, of these of one or more of these smallest, wisest possible list of values that might not be in the slimmest. Oh, I had already written that, but this is a better way of phrasing it, what I just did. Okay, so you always have the potential for situations where you and others strive most with focus on one or more child values of one or more of these smallest, wisest possible list of life values. So you can't fully. So while they may have usefulness, leaning on them too much can be worse for you in ways, in some situations. Leaning on them too much can be worse for you in ways, in some situations. A metaphor for this is like looking so much at the entire room of paintings in the museum as a big picture that you can't appreciate all the details in any painting in the room. You can barely appreciate the details. Oh, you can barely appreciate, yeah, we'll just put it that way. Or find as much meaning, felt meaning, in any painting in the room. It's too much. It's too much zooming out and not enough zooming in. When categorizing, I was gonna say when categorizing what you care for, but there's problems with that because care isn't fully linguistic or symbolic. So we're just going to say that, it's okay to be vague. You don't have to be perfect. Um, so that's our kind of counter argument there that we've revised. And it's important to think about that. Uh, so let's say Grok 3 and Venice combined. Free Grok 3 and Venice combined. Smallest, wisest list of virtues, life values. So what we have: integrity, compassion, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, love. And let's get our style here. Uniform for readability. And gratitude. So this is, just an attempt at, moving forward with, I wanted to do something like that. Well, I wanted to dig into virtues, and, it'd be nice to, I think it'd be a lot more fun to dig into like an individual one, but, I think it's best before starting with that, maybe it's wisest to get, the smallest, wisest lists, and maybe one way of doing it would be AI. So I've, crawling through the net, and, whatever it can do with that, and history in relation to that, and seeing what it comes up with. So we got a couple AIs, and Grok 3 is like the best right now, as far as I understand. I want to get my hands on that Brighteon one, because that's like conspiracy theorist AI. It's pretty fucking based from what it seems like. It's got a Brighteon content in it, which there's conspiracy rich content there, and so there's actually some damn based liminal shit there that most of the public, I don't think they realize. So that AI is gonna have something over Grok, unless Grok can get like, as much transcripts as possible, as much of like conspiracy video from like BitChute and Brighteon, and to a lesser degree Rumble, and like as much like conspiracy like sites and truther sites and transcripts of their videos. Like any AI that does that and kind of reframes its reality based on evidence and reason, with all those claims, is going to be fucking based, and the general public has no clue how fucking based and liminal that will be. But Brighteon is looking promising. From just, I saw someone asking a question about how are human beings being poisoned, I think in comparison to Grok 3, and it was just like Grok 3 denied it, I think, if I remember right. But this is a lot, and Brighteon just freaking gave a comprehensive list based on those truther claims that I thought was really good, and probably very accurate. But anyways, let's see here. Are there any child values here? I can't. Let's see. Quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. I don't see any child values. Just, after a quick glance, that I could, say like this is a child value of that. I mean, other than all of these being a child value of wisdom or courage, in the sense you need some degree of courage to do anything, if you made that argument, or love in the sense of you need care, where the means is the ends, to do anything. So You need both love and care. I guess you could kind of put it that way, because caring is part of love, and love creates goals. Without love, you don't have goals. You basically have, it's like a paradox. Like you can't, you have to have the ends. You can't just have the means. Um, in a living thing. So, uh, let's see. So, I do have a problem with this. What are we at here? We're at 121. I have a problem with this. Okay, there's the quality of being honest, and then there's the quality of having strong moral principles, and that's not the same thing, for one thing. Okay, and then are we talking about like how objective is the morality? I talked about that. You can say anything as a moral principle or value. But there's a consistency in this. There's a sense of personal consistency, and that consistency, um, with new information and reasoning, evidence and reason, and intuiting probability, it can bring one closer to wisdom and to more moral excellence. So this is kind of, there's a lot, there's things here that I'm definitely struggling with, because I don't like that this is pointing to two things at the same time. That's frustrating me. I don't, and they don't. Okay, so they seem to be two different things from how my brain's looking at them. So, but we're gonna leave it, and I think I'm gonna wrap it up. So this is the list we got from trying this out this way, and I tried this out like I said before, and I had a big ass list, a bunch of stuff from Wikipedia, and putting it all together, manually, take freaking hours for me. AI can do it like in a flash. Um, but now I can take any one of these, and we can use AI, and we can like just freaking tear it apart, you know, like little it is chunkify it, zoom in as much as possible, one part of the sentence from left to right at a time, uh, and maybe zoom out. Like maybe we look at integrity here in another philosophy jam. We say, okay, what's a quality? We define that. We defined what's being honest. Define that. Let's really get strong definitions for everything based on what AI thinks is the most valid definition. We'll do it that way. What's having strong moral principles, like, just for fun here, what does it mean to have strong moral principles? Because I need to know to what degree is this adhering to virtuousness, or to moral excellence, objectively. Because it seems like it's acting in accordance with one's values, not that these values are the wisest possible values. I mean, you have strong moral principles often include a concern for the well-being of others, but we're, you know, okay, so there's a universal application. So now we are, okay, so they're strong in the sense that they're closer to wisdom, closer to the best possible outcomes. So I think that they're not saying, but then they're also saying, you know, that it's strong in the sense of faith in oneself, and that and that's, see, those are two different things, and that's driving me absolutely up the wall. Um, but I'm gonna assume that we're gonna go ahead and um, assumption that this is not necessarily tied to moral excellence, but strength of one's adherence to life values, to their life values. So for now, we're going to make that assumption, and I want to wrap it up.